everybody, and welcome back to the Dice Tower.
Magic trick.
Edge is back.
Do you think they noticed?
Nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Dice Tower. My name is Zee Garcia.
I'm Camilla.
I'm Joey Evans.
And I'm Zee Garcia.
I'm out of breath.
Today, we're doing our top 10 creature designs from games and what have you.
I'll turn my mic off.
You turned your mic off?
I said, do I need to? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Creatures in games. See, they're designed by someone.
Okay. What?
That might be like a miniature, maybe, or an illustration, maybe
Okay.
even both.
Okay.
And we picked 10 that we like today.
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Okay?
Okay.
And we're going to be discussing those. Mine are a little more
General
than you guys, and by that I mean I really like the creature design in this game, and I'll give a couple of examples or whatever, but I was a little less specific than I believe you guys are both saying, like this one thing from this one game, right?
I did a creature design.
Yeah, and I did like the creature design from this game.
Got it.
I did a hybrid between both of you. I did some creature
The
designs.
one creature design.
I mean, to be
Yes.
fair, in some games I did two because otherwise I couldn't do it. This is an incredibly difficult list.
It really was.
You guys liked it?
Really,
liked it?
No, kept me up at night.
There's a
It
couple.
was so hard.
There's a couple. I'm like, man, I hope somebody else mentions this. That it's like if they don't, I'm like, this is such a good creature. I'm like somebody. So we need like a lot of like between like 2 and 1
Right.
honorable mentions.
I need y'all to like bring it here
Yeah.
because I have a lot that I didn't say.
Yeah, I'm like, don't let me down, guys.
I'm gonna let you down immediately, probably.
That's what I was
actually.
thinking.
Oh dear.
All right.
We started
Before
it?
we get into it, let me do
Ooh.
some shout outs, okay?
What? Okay.
How many of these should I do?
Turn it
The
over.
ones that I
Yeah.
annotated.
Do it right side up. It's easier.
Oh, yeah.
I was helpful.
Here we go, folks. These are wonderful people who have backed our Kickstarter in the past, and we absolutely want to thank you for your support. So here's a shout out for you, starting with Manuel Seibert. Seibert?
Cybert.
Cyber.
Seibert. Like Cyberpunk.
Oh, I like that. That's a good name.
Manuel Cyberpunk. Thank you very much for your support. You
Little
loved
robot?
it. Don't even
Quick
question
question.
it.
What'd you
Don't-
have for lunch?
Leftover disgusting pizza.
It was good
It's
2
true,
days
it was
ago.
really bad. Okay,
Oh.
next up, People and
People.
Baddies from Germany.
All right.
I want my name
People.
to be People.
People.
I could change it. People.
We could just call you people.
Beep boop. Beep boop. Everything's robot
Next
speed,
up,
isn't it?
hang on now for this one, okay?
Oh.
My second favorite Bruno of all time, Bruno Feduti.
Who's your first?
Bruno Catala.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, why did I forget that?
I salute you, sir.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you very much. Next up, Haley and Isaiah Melvin from
Okay.
Mississauga, Canada.
All right. Oh, and that's from Graham. So, and he's Canadian, right?
I think Graham is from
Yes.
Mississauga as well.
Okay.
The great land of Mississauga.
In the distant land.
They have that big river, right? It's Mississauga. And then lastly, Stacy Riggins. I love it. This is a collection of names right here. I love all of them. Okay.
All of them?
All of them.
Top 5?
People.
People.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Y'all are wonderful. Without further to-do or any more flim-flam-floomy, let's get to it. Number 10. All right, I'm going to kick it off with my number 10. My number 10 is a creature you all know and recognize,
Yes.
honestly.
Can I see it
Because
first?
it's a real-world creature. It's a real thing, okay?
I didn't do that.
I don't care. I
Did
did
you
it
do
once.
that?
I did it once.
All mine are real world. Are yours like fake? These
you
are
like
No,
real
these are real.
world.
They're like animals. I
I
don't
did an animal, but here's what I did. I love the way this animal is represented in this game.
Okay.
So I did their creature design of this animal I thought was tremendously cute. And it's my only one that's like cute. The rest are like gnarly, generally.
So you went cute.
My list
So
isn't
my number
valid.
10 is Rescue Polar Bears. Bears. Okay? They're very cute on the cover. That's wonderful. Who cares? Look at these cute bears.
You went component design.
Look at these cute
Wow.
bears.
We approached this very
I
differently.
really
Look,
you were
guys.
kidding on the whole. I'm about to let you down. I'm like,
Guys, look at the birds.
I know he needs a Coca-Cola in his hand.
Look at them. They're little ceramic. They're actually ceramic bears. Then there's a papa bear, and he's got 2 baby bears. And they have just little tiny ears. There's the mama bear with the 2 hands holding like this, like she's worried about the fact that like the little baby bear is going to be out on his own very soon. But I love them. I love their little designs, and the babies are just incredibly cute. They're almost featureless. Just a little blobby fella with his cute little ears. Again, the creature design, those little guys, the way they made them, I think is fantastic. Don't worry, the list gets, generally speaking, more traditional as to what you guys did. You
Better,
buy the
right?
numbers, people.
Gets better.
But my number 10, adorable, super cute birds.
I'm pretty happy that we're going to
kinda like
bookend
cats.
it with you going and then Camilla. So we're going to have like, I'm pretty sure we're just going to go ahead. This is the spread right
These are
here.
your parameters.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I have. I have one really pretty one, but it is a true creature. It's not real world animals. Otherwise, this could be like all of Meadow. My number 10 is Project Elite. I love the creature design in this, but specifically what I like is some of the boss aliens that have this. I don't know. It's not. It's like science, right? I mean, because they have like these like feeding tubes, and they have these like armored horns right there. And the rhino one, I can't think of Thrax is his name, Therax, something like that. I can't remember his name.
Thrax or Ferric,
But
yeah,
like,
one of the
but
two.
like, yeah, they have this like science, like Frankenstein kind of feel to them. The one down below there, I mean, it's like the human that now an alien. It's like built his
yeah.
body around. It's got all these like tubes and gears and that kind of stuff. I just love that meld of aliens, and it doesn't have to be this green foreign monster. You know, it can be this kind of science creation pieced together, extra armor, souped up foreign creature. Oh, it's so good. I love it. I love it a lot. That's my number 10. It's so good.
That's a good one.
It's very cute. Not quite as
It's
cute as
super
the
cute,
bears,
isn't
but
it?
it's cute. Yeah.
Well, your bears kind of look like
cute.
cats.
All right, I too am going cute. And
Are
this,
you really?
This is from Zombicide Black Plague.
Oh,
And this is, I've always loved, my God.
did Micah step in here
Oh,
again?
man.
Mike DeLisio, ladies and
This is-
gentlemen, is on fire. Huh?
This is Chris.
This was Chris? Mike DeLisio, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, it's Chris, apparently.
Wow.
Pulling a
This
real
could have
Mike
been one of
DeLisio.
Z's picks, by the way. That's all I'm saying. This,
They would, yeah. This is Zee's
This-
honorable
if he would've
mention,
played this
actually.
game-
My 11.
Yeah.
all right.
Yep.
Zombicide Black Plague. The necromantic dragon. And this guy right here, all their abominations and things.
Good Lord.
These are so
That's
good.
a really good paint job.
I mean,
Did you paint
it's really this is a guy Eric Wintling, I think from BGG. He's really a really great artist, and these right here are the abominations. The abominations in this, and there's also a dragon. I think I have a picture of that as well. But the
Y'all went full hog on
anyway,
these
these are
pictures. All right.
really good. I love all the abominations in these. I don't necessarily like to play with all of them because you will die extremely fast.
Yes.
But it's really fun to see the different designs and how each one has not only unique design but unique mechanisms going forward. So Black Plague does a really, really good job with that.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, it's no
really cool. I
polar
like
bear,
them.
but it's a
Thank you.
bear.
Thank
Big
you.
old hand coming out the side.
Just saying.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a big like growth. I like it. Like,
Right.
the hand looks like a growth, right?
Yeah.
Not like an actual.
It's growth, all right. It's
oh,
rooted.
it's
It's disgusting.
cool.
It's
That's
It's
a
good.
very
pick.
disgusting. It's growth.
So, oh
Let's
yeah.
go. Let's keep on going, please. My number 10 was Rescue Polar Bear. My number 9 is a different game, you see. And it is a game called Glow. And everything in it is kind of in black and white like this. Has that style, has that
yeah.
look. And so the creature design in this, you see many of them there on the cover. They're really interesting, sort of mixtures between flora and fauna.
Yeah.
So it's like a creature, like that one in the middle there kind of looks like a fawn or something like that, but then the top is very mushroom-like, or I don't know, it kind of looks like an amoeba or like a, what are the aquatic ones? The jellyfish. It kind of looks like a jellyfish or something.
Okay.
The one over here is like a little weird bird with a 4-leaf clover on himself. And again, these are all these really intriguing black and white designs.
That's cool looking. Oh.
You know, they have these neat, like, just, I don't know, they look somewhere between kind of unfinished and dreamlike.
I love
Right, I
this
think the
style of
dreamlike.
drawing. I don't know why. It's just, just
looks
that
like a
black and
sketchbook,
white.
someone's sketchbook, right?
It has that kind of vintage look we talked about earlier, I think, on the Kickstarter. It just has that look. I really like that.
So yeah, this one has some really neat looking illustrations. I like the world
That
is
cover
very
is even
sort of
good.
mystical, very gentle in a way, very dreamlike is kind of the best way to put it. And there are splashes of color in there. There's some dice in the game, and on the cards even you saw little splashes of color, but almost everything has this really serene black and white look.
Right.
Pencil sketch kind of vibe to it. And the creatures in it fit that world, fit that sort of, you know, high imagination, ethereal sort of vibe. So, yeah, my number 9 is the creatures, like the couple there I showed, from Glow. So there you go.
That's a good pick. I've never heard of that. That's really cool. I like that. My number 9 is my pretty entry here, and it is Tidal Blade's Heroes of the Reef. There's 2 specific characters that I really like, and I think it's because they kind of resemble real-world animals here. You know, kind of looks like a frog guy, and then maybe a little mouse or rodent kind of guy. You know. Oh, it's an axolotl. Okay, so it's actually a real animal too. It's real. Or is that just Pokemon? Okay. Yeah, so it's don't laugh at me, Roy. It's a serious question. So yeah, I just like that they have this real world touch, but it's like the, I hate this word, anthropomorphic. Is that right?
Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic.
You did it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Good.
Axolotl.
Cool. Axolotl.
Axolotl.
So it has this connection to it, but it doesn't. They have the personality of the animal kind of still in it.
Yes.
But yet it's taken to that creature level because it's this whole race that they represent as well. You know, where it is the one of them comes from that frog race, and so you see that in his attributes and his qualities, but it doesn't look like an animal wearing human clothing. You know?
Right.
I really like that. I feel like they expanded what we know here to make it its whole own race and give it that personality and the qualities that we know here. And so I really like that. Just it's a perfect real world touch.
There's a weird, like, there's
I
a
agree.
spectrum of anthropomorphic sort of styles.
There is.
My least favorite is by far, clearly just a man, head of a dog. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like, that one is, for me, that's the worst.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like,
Yes.
that's a dude in like a trench coat. It's just a guy.
Right.
The hands look like human hands. He's clearly just standing like a person, but they drew like a rooster head on it.
Right.
Or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Right.
So that I'm out
I
immediately.
really hate that.
But then you start kind of
Robot
like
monster type thing.
twisting it, the human shape into the animal shape, and somewhere in the middle, you get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I'm good with this.
Yeah.
An
I agree.
animal sort of species or creature that has some human-like qualities to it, I'm okay with that.
Right, and I love the
Just like that
world.
one.
I love the world that's built here. You know, the reef here that they live in, because they all kind of look like they have that aquatic nature. They still have that alien kind of look to them. You know, and I just think it's really, really well done. It's just a really neat touch in the real world, but you can kind of see the glimpses of the other world as well,
Well
and what it's
played.
grown
You
into.
didn't let me down. This is
Yeah?
on my short list.
Was it? Woo!
Yeah, I was like,
So
man,
far,
I
so
hope somebody
good.
brings it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
There you
Somebody,
go.
That's
Kevin
good.
is asking, what do I think about a human head on a dog's body? That I'm okay with.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and haven't seen it. Okay, maybe I'm not.
I mean,
okay
I'm
with
trying
it.
to like think if I've ever seen that. No,
I would love
I think
if a
I'm
game has
grateful that I haven't.
that whole, like, everything. It's the body of all sorts of animals, but all the heads are human.
Like that
Oh,
Z
that
in
makes me
ancient
feel-
Egypt. This will not do it all. That's great.
Start again.
Okay.
What do you got?
All right, number 9 is a game that I played. I think Camilla's, but I don't think Zee's played this one at all. But this is Cthulhu: Death May Die.
It looks like it's Hello Kitty.
This is
The
Again.
matching wig.
This is definitely not going to get
this
old.
is the expansion right here that it's unreleased. We should not have dropped that here. Here we go. Here, this is the actual base. So this right here, the sculpts in this are, and that dragon is actually Black Plague. Okay, so not in this game, but that dragon's tricky.
That's what you were talking about last time.
He likes to sneak out.
That is the dragon that I was talking about, Black Plague. He sneaks around. That's his abomination power. So anyway, the sculpts in this game, the game itself is great. I love, and that honestly is one of those that is hard to find. One that has great sculpts and is a great game. I've got a couple in here that are great sculpts, but not great games. And this one right here, this is actually how it comes. This is not painted at all. Just
By no one here
by no one here
specifically?
at the studio. This was just as it now. This was actually painted by Roy here in about 30 minutes in just one color. Is all I used. But
It's a really specific speed paint.
it is. It's all speed paint. It's based in gray, and then boom. I don't paint a lot, so I don't know. So anyway, the sculpts on this are just incredible. That's what drew me to this game, and what kept me there is the gameplay. And it's hard to find a game that has both those.
It really is. I think this one probably has my favorite Cthulhu mythos. I'm trying to look, make sure. Yeah, it has my favorite Cthulhu mythos. Of that, my favorite sculpts. I love the Hester. I think you had the picture of it there with all the flames and the skulls and all that. It's my favorite representation of that.
So good.
Pretty
mythos.
good. They're like sort of non-traditional when
Right.
it comes to like the mythos and all that stuff. But I agree. I think these are very, very good. They're well done, and I enjoy the look of this game quite a bit.
And I like how they interpret everything. Everybody and all the artists interpret the creature in a different way.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see, especially something like Cthulhu.
I remember getting a lot of garbage actually when the original images were being released. People were like, "That's not what it's supposed to look like." I'm like, whatever. They're trying something different.
Yeah,
I
I
like
agree.
that.
Who cares? Here we go.
Number 9.
All right, guys, get ready to give me some garbage again on number 8.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Here we go. All right.
Because my number
Can I
8
guess? Just kidding. I would have no idea.
Number 8 is, technically speaking, not creatures, okay?
What is it?
My number 8 is, it's vehicles, okay? But they are very over the top, and they might as well be creatures, because they're very, like, the way they are put together, and the artistic freedoms that were taken on these vehicles make them look creature-like to me. But they are
Do
vehicles.
they have personality?
Yeah, they have kind of
Oh,
personality.
they do. So there's not a driver. Like they drive themselves.
No, they have drivers. They are vehicles. That's how vehicles work, at least so far.
So they're not animate.
They're not animate, no. They're inanimate. Okay? This is a game called Dust Biters. And the car design I really like in this game. And again, they are kind of creature-like to me in my heart of hearts, okay?
What?
So here we have...
Is Chris trolling you?
No, this is really what I
real?
did.
Oh.
Unfortunately, that picture's a little dark, but whatever. So here we have the Mind Manipulator. We have this one's better. This is a little easier to see. Mind Manipulator, Martyr, Cloning Van, Teleporter. And so these are vehicles with some crazy designs on them, like the
Those do look good.
cloning van there is literally a van with 2 giant cloning pods in the back with little weird babies being grown in the back.
Which are
Okay.
creatures.
While they're
Those
driving.
are creatures.
They found
Yeah,
that's
let's
the
go
The
with
best.
that.
vehicle has a creature in it.
Yeah, why
the
not?
best
And then
place
the
to grow their
teleporter
babies.
over there has some dude on the roof,
Okay.
and the coils, those coils coming out the back. Every vehicle in this game, or most of them anyway, are really kind of preposterous like this.
These are fantastic vehicles. Yes, I agree.
This is some Twisted Metal type stuff here. I like that.
Kind of
Yeah.
more like wilder than that, sort of more out there than that.
Less clowns.
These aren't
Yeah.
creatures. These
They're
are
creatures. These are my top.
These are not creatures. This is fantastic art. They are fantastic vehicles.
Yes.
I'll
Thank
give you
you.
that.
Thank you. Appreciate
So what's your number
that.
8?
My number 8 is Dust Biters.
Dust Biters.
It's like a good nature game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there next
I'd
to
put it in
Joey's
there.
nature game. Yeah, exactly. All right. My number 8 is the only.
Adams, I've just joined and I'm so confused.
Yeah. Well,
So are we.
Yeah.
We've been here.
been
For a
around
while.
two choices so far. All right, my number 8 comes from Final Girl, and this is I went between 2 different ones. I
Okay.
really love Geppetto, but I settled on Inkanyamba as my favorite. I love it, and so I went back and forth because it's a human serial
Right.
killer, and I was like, do humans count? Yes, we are. So this is my only human on the list. Yes. Sorry, had to double check and triple check. So my only human, but I decided they counted. And now that I knew cars could be included, I have no guilt behind this either.
You're good.
So I love his
good.
embodiment, his power here in this game is he is kind of representing this area. What'd I say?
Sorry, I was laughing at the comments. I apologize.
I'm sorry. Did I miss something?
People are just like, my number 7 is technically a shovel, says Chris. And somebody says, Zee's number 7 is going to be city skyline. Go ahead, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you're good. You're good.
This is very cool looking. It looks
Really good.
very like primeval or very like
And that's
Tribal?
It's kind of
Yeah.
tribal,
Tribal.
right? And so what it is there's this
With a
sacred.
batleth.
Yeah, there's this sacred land that people are going to, and so this guy represents like the spirits of that land. He's there, to stand up
Avenge,
for the land.
uh-huh.
I guess avenge, the land here, and becomes a serial killer. And so I just love that he has that tribal look. It looks.
Yeah.
It just looks scary, right? Like, who's the man behind the mask? I don't know. And his sculpt, I couldn't find a good mini sculpt of him. He has like a real kind of tribal dance stance, and it's just
Right.
that perfect, like, just in awe of it, but also scared of it. Like, this is one of those ones that when I play, I'm like, I would legitimately be terrified by
Yes.
this thing stalking me.
That is a
Hans
good
the
point.
Butcher? Nah, he's got a pig mask. It's cool. I don't need to see him. This guy, please don't take off your mask. You terrify me.
That's true. Hans be walking slow to you. This guy will just jump out of something and be like,
Right.
yeah.
I'm agile enough to take Hans in real life, I think. In Kanyamba, I don't know. Ugh, I don't know.
All right. That's a good one. All right. So my number 8 is, well, I'm pretty excited to see what exactly it is, according to.
Let's find
There
out.
we go. It's a pop-up game.
I think your games are getting better.
They are. This is a good one.
Yeah.
It's got I push the middle part right there.
Yeah.
The die, if you push it, it clicks and the die rolls.
okay.
Do you understand that?
Oh,
I think so.
Does it pop?
It does.
perchance?
There's no other part of the game. You just keep doing that over and over until it breaks, then you get a new one. It's a good game. But no, my number 8 is actually Unmatched Cobble and Fog. I love the sculpts in these, but the Invisible Man is one that I really think they nailed on this. Just the way it portrays what he is, and the way he functions too. Be able to walk into fog and out of fog throughout the entire map. This guy, although he's not the most powerful, he's one of my favorite to play. And Unmatched just has some fantastic sculpts throughout there. And I like all the Universal monsters. I like all of them. I looked at Horrified and everything, but I settled on putting this guy in there.
It's really cool the way they did the menu.
Yes,
with
they
the
did
whole,
the-
Right.
the coat, the hat, and he's missing. Like, it's so neat the way they managed to just to make it look like he's invisible. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
so neat.
Yeah.
Using that negative space to mess with your mind a little bit. I
Yeah,
love it.
I like it too.
Right. The sculpt on this is just so well done. I think, rather than just going transparent or whatever, this was really good.
It's a really creative way to do it. If you asked me how to portray an invisible man, I'd be like, put a base down with nothing on it. That's about as far as my creativity
Right.
goes.
Or they could have
So-
went bandaged, or whatever, but they
Yeah.
just.
It's usually
Yeah.
like what I've
Yeah.
seen in the past, right? The bandage guy or whatever. But it's good. It's really
good.
well done.
It
I
is.
think they might have had an alternate sculpt if you pre-ordered or whatever, which was a translucent one.
Oh, really?
But
I
They
like
might
this,
have.
I like
yeah.
this one.
I
I
do
like
too.
it just fine, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, that was my number 8, Cobble and Fog, the Invisible Man in particular.
All right. My number 7
I'm
is
so
from...
excited.
Are you excited? I
it
think they're a little more
furniture?
traditional from here on out. I think. All right, my number 7 is from a game called Sorcerer. And this is a card game.
Okay.
There's a lot of creature designs in here, so I
Ooh.
just featured several of them on cards. This is supposed to be set in old London. and it has a supernatural theme. There are werewolves and vampires and old powerful deities sort of fighting, and so that first image there was inspired by a sort of Egyptian flavor. The one we went by, Egyptian flavor on that.
Wow.
It's like a giant bug with like a scythe or something. Then the middle guy is like this weird little tree fella. We've got that last one is sort of a demon creation there. Then the next picture's got like a forest creature meets, the dude from Monopoly.
Oh, it does look like that.
He's got like the big mustache, but then he has these
He really does.
brambles kind of grow out of his head,
Some
And
Monopoly.
the last one's really cool. It's again that like a monstrous giant flying creature being ridden by this other,
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like the look of this game. The artwork is spectacular, but the creativity of the illustrations, the fact that they are taking things you might have seen elsewhere, vampire creatures, demons, whatever, but they don't look as you've seen them before.
Right.
They're just a little off center. And many of them, not the ones I put up here, I think, but many of them are really like legit creepy images. They're like, ugh.
That's really, even that cover's nice.
Like right on that edge of making you uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like,
I love that.
That's uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
That's really good.
So I really like the just the design and sort of the breadth of the game, because when you're playing the game, you sort of pick what flavor you want,
Right.
What character, like the Egyptian flavored whatever character. So you're gonna get a lot of that, imagery. But if you're going for like, there's one for example you didn't see there, but it's like sort of spiders. They have the faction of the whatever is sort of based on spiders. So you're gonna have a lot of that creepy imagery,
Oh, that's neat.
So it's really neat stuff. Sorcerer has great artwork and really outlandish, but grounded in truth creature designs.
Yeah, those look really nice.
There we go.
That's cool. Very nice. All right. I think one of my favorite things about creatures, or what draws me to them, is when we kind of see those crossovers. And I think we're going to see this through most of the rest of my list. So this one specifically in Oathsworn, I like the crossover of this creature mixed with nature, which are two of my favorite things. They're super, super creepy and the super pretty. So specifically in Oathsworn is going to be the Grove Maiden. This is not one I painted. I've not painted this miniature. I painted another one that's similar and has this, but I really like that this one is a warrior, right? And she is made of the trees, but she is a warrior, and so she sends her little minions out, and I just love that you see that represented in her. You see the energy as she's like glowing with the bright yellows and the greens, but you see like she still has the brambles. I mean, she kind of reminds me of the Ents, in Lord of the Rings, where they have so much personality, but they haven't lost their connection to nature. They still are. They are a creature of nature, and I think that's so cool. She is absolutely commanding and just vengeful. I absolutely love it. So I like that crossover of super creepy and powerful and
nature.
Yeah, just that kind of crossover. So yeah, the Grove Maiden
awesome.
of Oathsworn.
Growth Maiden. I even like that name.
Grove
Maiden.
Yeah, not growth.
That's cool.
Less
A
disgusting
little different.
there.
Yeah, she kind of reminds me of the other. I can't think of the name. It's the one that your wife is playing right now. Ranger, the Ranger.
Oh yeah,
like
okay,
that?
yeah.
It's kind of like that. I thought at first it was
I thought
that.
it was too.
Yeah, I
I'm
did.
like, oh wait, this is somebody else that sort of looks like it's
Yeah.
made from trees also.
Right, and yeah, so I liked the Ranger, but I still felt like, I feel like the Grove Maiden specifically has a little bit more of that nature. It just looks like she's just going to melt right back in.
Yeah,
It kind of
Yeah.
like comes up and fights and then just goes right back.
Which is a cool imagery to have.
Yeah, exactly, and so I like that.
That's cool.
A lot.
I got something kind of like that coming up later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
People are losing their minds in the comments, by
About?
the way. Well, just like somebody literally just said, that's not creature design for my pick. That's not creature design, that's artwork. Are you kidding me?
Right, that's somebody's up here designing a creature and putting
You
it
guys
down to
are-
share with you.
You guys are
So I guess three.
you're pushing the envelope over here. So like, what doesn't count as creature design? I
So
get it.
creature
You
design-
didn't like my car pick, but good lord, artwork counts, guys. I think that's okay.
I hope it does,
Right.
because my next one. Well, before we see my next one, I'm just wondering what my next one could
Yeah,
be.
let's see what we
Right.
got.
This-
Oh, it actually is there. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we
it's-
gave
My
up?
next
Okay,
one
all
is.
right.
Until number
It
one.
is
It'll come
Escape
back,
the
right?
Dark Castle. And Escape the Dark Castle is.
Oh, you got. Oh,
Okay.
Whoops.
Well played. Well played, Chrissy. Well played. This again is like I didn't mention the black and white artwork you mentioned before, Z.
yeah.
This game is filled with it. And every time you get to open a door or go into a room, you get to see a card that's just so much nostalgia. I love this style of kind of a grungy style of pure artwork. And I love it. Every single monster, every creature in here has that look that's kind of vintage, kind of grunge. I really like the feeling of this game. And every card in this base game and all the expansions too. Well, my favorite, I love this game, by the way, but it just brings you into it. So
It's really like that style is somewhere between like metal, metal cover, you know what I mean, for like an
Right,
album.
yes.
And it's somewhere between like that and like high school notebook illustrations
Right.
of like the troubled teen or whatever.
And I was thinking or like comic book kind of, kind
Yes.
of feel to it as well. It's a really interesting meld of that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, also, every time I see one, I just wish I could draw that well. Yeah,
It's
so.
cool. It's, again, a little bit of an acquired taste maybe, but I do like that it feels so nonconformist.
Exactly,
The
yeah.
artwork
Right.
in this
Right.
is very like, this is what I draw. This is what it looks like. There's something raw about it, and I think a lot of people would dislike that.
I agree. And that's like Jacob mentioned here that that they're doing Last of Us, so that same kind of theme. I like to see that artwork
Oh, interesting.
in this, so that would be great. So, all right,
Nice.
Really cool.
that's my number 7,
Nice.
Escape
Nice,
the
good
Dark
pick.
Castle.
Well done, Joe. From the top.
From the top. Here we go. My number 6 is going to be King of Tokyo, but I'm specifically talking here about the dark edition of King
I
of Tokyo.
forgot
okay?
about
I didn't
this
think
one.
of it. Good pick.
Now, here's
well
the problem
played,
with
Z.
this,
Yeah, there
though,
we go.
okay? Before we go on.
You redeemed yourself.
It's artwork, okay?
Oh.
And I realize that artwork doesn't really count as creature design, but I already made the list, so I can't really change it now.
But the good news is it doesn't have minis, so it's not mini design. So you're
no,
still okay.
Right,
Because
right,
if it was a mini
exactly.
design,
No, yeah, that's not really, that
Oh,
wouldn't
look
work.
at that.
Oh,
That is
so
Look at that Kraken. Again, the Dark Edition here, obviously the thing they did was take this artwork, or really more the idea from the original game, the world, whatever, and the creatures, and they re-illustrated everything, kind of changed it up to make it look a little more serious, maybe?
I guess.
The original is very goofy, like the image is very goofy. That
Right.
Kraken,
Right.
while highly stylized, does not make me think goofy. That looks
no.
terrifying.
Yes.
It's
Some of the other ones don't as much, but that Kraken is tremendously well done.
Yes.
You can kind of see that inner glow. It looks radioactive. It looks
That-
It's also
the storm at sea there. I mean, just incredibly terrifying.
And it's also clearly not an octopus. I love that. So many times Kraken just look like an octopus with a little bit bigger head or something like that. I love that it has that like man chest as well. Like you can
Yeah.
tell that they're like, no, this is a Kraken and this is what I think a Kraken looks like. Also, he's scary as poo-poo.
that,
And the rest of the creatures and the rest of the game really do have this kind of look to them, you know. You have all of these iconic, everything's black and white, and then one color.
that's what I love. The
sort
Sin
of comes
City
through, yeah.
style of, just,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. Just
So-
different color pops in every one.
Yeah, I really like that. They did that for the entire game. It's all over the thing, so I really like the look of this game. It's one that just screams style, man. It's like so cool looking, you know what I mean? Effortlessly cool. It pops
Yeah.
its collar and it's like, pff,
Right.
I don't need to try any harder. I'm already way cooler than everything else on the shelf. So I
Yeah.
really like that look.
It's a good pick. I completely forgot about this one.
I did. Yeah. I didn't even think of it.
That's a good
But that
one.
is such a good pick. Fantastic.
There
Absolutely.
we go.
All right, my number 6 is kind of walks that line again of making you uncomfortable that you were talking about, but it's more like because it's right there on am I dreaming or is this real? Is kind of what I feel
Okay.
about it. And it's like, I don't know. And that's Lobotomy 2, specifically the Orderlies.
Electric Boogaloo.
I love it because Lobotomy 2, and the theme in this game is you are in a ward, and you're getting treatment, and so you are the good guy as the patient that's there. So you're not really sure as you're playing, do these guys actually look like this, or is it your mind because you're, mentally ill. And so I understand that thematically this game is not for everyone. I understand that. And so with that, I will say I'm fine with it. But I love specifically the orderlies, which are on the far left, because those are the good guys, typically, right?
Right.
The ones that come in. But I'll speak for myself here, not everybody, but I hate going to the doctor because I just feel like they just touch you all the time, everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, they're so invasive. I really don't like the doctor. And I love it. I think this just depicts that so much, that here they come with their little octopus hands to touch you everywhere. Does this hurt? Does that hurt? I'm like, no, get your hands off me. You know, like, that's what it is. I know that's not what they look like, but that's what's happening in my head. And I love that that's captured so well right there, where it's like, this is what I feel like going to the doctor, you know, as they come in to take my blood, you know, just their little evil hands. And anyway, I like
the artwork. I mean, the paint job here also.
Really good.
Yes.
Wow.
So these are professionally painted. So this I grabbed from the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah.
These are actually, they did specific artists, they hired them to create these monsters, these people, and then paint them themselves as well. So they are artists' own creations of the monsters. And then I think one of them is a YouTube follower, like a professional painter who is just fantastic. And so they came up with a creation, got to come up with, you know, all the powers and that kind of stuff, and then painted it to show off. So these are professional painters doing their own creations here. So anyway, I love that.
It's great.
About me too. It kind of, there's that, what is it, Shutter Island or so? There's a movie about that, you know, where you're like, wait, is this really happening, or is it because it is Shutter Island, right?
Okay,
like, what is real and what's happening in my head? And I just think that Lobotomy 2, in their creature designs, walks that line so very well. Very, very
I
good.
agree.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And no, I don't need to switch doctors. I understand. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. I just... Anyway.
Okay, that's a good one. My number 6 is, I think it's going to be one that I think you guys have played. It is by Awakened Realms, and which I do like. They just did a brand new pocket version of the Awakened Realms right here.
Is Awakened Realms light?
It's in their lighter series. It is Hello Kitty and Friends. That's
It does include a special rule, so that's good.
Well, Uno needs a special rule. You can have 2 cards. All right. So, now it's actually Tainted Grail. Tainted Grail, cool. Fall of Avalon. This right here, this is when I talked about how the game itself didn't really grab me. I didn't stick with it. But the artwork, even with the minis on this, just looks so good. I mean, those are just the statues. And Awakened Realms has this way of kind of, at first, all their minis look overcomplicated because there's so much going on. But for these, it grabs so well for me. And all the minis in this game, and any Awakened Realms game, just kind of pull you in. And I mean, these just look great. These are the statues, I think, that you actually go up to on each one. But again, the game I wasn't so enamored with, but these right here, it just looks great. And the cover artwork, the artwork throughout the entire game, I think is great.
I love any mini when they manage to do that whole, I like this a lot, when there's like holes through the miniature. Like if there's a skeleton you're fighting, and there's a bunch of holes through the mini or whatever, and then when the sculptors find interesting ways to attach separate pieces. Like I think it's in, I'm trying to think. I think it's in Zombicide, like the Western one, Undead or Alive or whatever.
Yes.
There's this pack you can get of like heavily decomposed zombies, and they're mostly skeletal. But one of them is like legs, and they're wearing like a shawl or something, a duster. And so with that, they attach the top, which is clearly detached to the bottom. Because the back, the robe or whatever
pulls it up.
is plastic, it looks like 2 separate halves.
Okay,
it's really cool the way they,
cool.
use that you don't think of, that part, to attach these 2 clearly separate halves. So I really like that one. Also has some punches through it,
Yeah.
We can see through it,
It's similar to one of my honorable mentions was Sea of Legends, which does that same thing with one of their skeletons that's like coming out of the water. And it's like, just this tiny little spine, that's really held together by all of this rotting flesh and stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as Tainted Grail, I think one thing that I really like about it is all of these kind of feels dreamlike, doesn't it?
It does.
It does
yes.
dark really well.
Right.
It's just kind of like this faded, just a little bit out of focus, where it kind of keeps it guessing and makes you kind of creature design at the same time.
Exactly.
I think.
Yep.
I don't know. I really like that. It's a good pick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, that's it. It's my number 6, Tainted Grail.
All right, my number 5 is from, and I feel like we're going to see a lot of the same companies here near the top.
Yeah, I think so too.
Steam on a lot of Awaken Realms, what have you.
Yep.
My number 5 is from The World of Smog, Rise of Moloch.
Yes.
I picked one specific mini here, though I like the design in this game wall to wall pretty much. But one of them that comes in one of the expansions is this fella right here.
Oh, he's so good.
And this little fella is basically street. Cobblestone.
Really?
It's a cobblestone golem. So he is
cool.
made from the bricks of the street, and on his back you can see the piping of
that's so
street
cool.
signs and sort of piping under the ground and what have you. So he's just really cool looking, very kind of steampunky in a way, and the game generally is like that. But, you know, this dark magic at play that has made the street in this old London sort of town, or setting, I should say, animated that into a golem, you know? So he's made from the floor, from the street. And I can just imagine like steam coming out of him from his little pipes and stuff. I think he's really cool looking. I love the design. I love the way he's sort of featureless in many ways.
Yep.
But he also has a lot of personality. Again, just looking at that pose and that mini, I can see him moving, shambling, hear the scraping of the stone as he moves around, you know. I really like the design here.
I like that. It's giving personality to, again, things that we have that connection to. You know? And
so
I feel like walking down the street now, I won't look at that stuff the same. It'll be like, oh yeah, remember that. You know, that's really cool.
Yeah. So there we go. That is my number 5. That I don't know, something golem, street golem or whatever, cobble golem, I don't know.
That's
from
really
Rise
nice.
of Moloch.
I need to play this game.
Very good choice.
It's on myself ashamed to play, but
It's not the best game
Really?
in the world, but the creature
sculpts?
design, I could have made a top 10 just from this
really?
game.
Okay.
It has that steampunk. You said steampunk,
Yeah.
and I think that's not very well represented in games. You know, I think that it has some really, really cool ones. Good choice.
Okay.
Good choice. Awesome. Number 5 is a game, I think it's been on my mind because I've painted it recently, and it's one of them that when I was painting, I was like, I love everything that this is bringing together. You know, so it's going to be from Claustrophobia, specifically the Destroyer. It reminds me a little bit of when I was talking about Inkanyamba from Final Girl, because it has that tribal mask.
Ooh,
the
that is
picture's a little
nice.
high, you can't quite see it. But yes, I love that again. It has that human feature, but yet these wooden masks on it, right? And you're like, it's just uncomfortable. It's right on that edge of uncomfortable. It's like, okay, you're very human, but do you have feelings? Like, it's just a blank mask, you know, so you can't get a reading off them. You can't feel anything, and it just feels creepy. Again, like a science experiment, like a creature. Like, what are you? You're not human. You're not animal. You're not totem pole. You're this weird mix of all of them, right? And it's like, you just don't know what to expect from it. You know, it has the additional arm there as well, where you're like, okay, are you multiple? Just so many questions. It's a very confusing mini. I love that. Again, the picture's kind of dark. Sorry you can't see, but his skin is kind of this translucent blue as well. And so you're like, where are you from? Why? I have so many questions looking at this, and I love it because I've looked at it a lot, and I've looked at a lot of artwork in order to paint it, and it just still brings up all these questions that just makes me want to know more. And to me, that is what is a great creature when I'm like, I want to know more. Where is this from? How does it act? What does it do? It draws me into it, and I want to know everything about it. So I really, really enjoyed the Destroyer and his mix of all those different things. Human, not human, inanimate, like just everything. So
there's some old world creepy magic in there that is just uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Some Baba Yaga type energy. You know what I mean? There's some energy in there that I'm like, that's bad juju.
Yes.
That bad juju energy.
Bad juju.
Bad juju. So anyway, it was a ton of fun to paint too. I just really, one of those that when it was done, I was like, oh, should I strip it and do it again? Because I really enjoyed it. Like, it was just fun.
That's
like
a
get
good
this
idea,
skin and just
Paint
like,
mine.
oh, do you have it?
No. I'll get it if you'll paint it.
I will.
Sweet. All right. My number 5 is a Hello Kitty game people have ignored in the past. This one right here, it is the spree game. It's about
shopping.
it's about shopping. We love shopping. It comes with a mouse. This edition came with a live mouse, but you had to buy it quickly or it wouldn't be live very long.
Right.
Yeah, but
Like
anyway.
a day one release kind of thing.
It's
like that Mole Madness game, right?
Oh, this is number 5 is Kingdom Death Monster. This has some sculpts in here that are really, really well done.
I just realized a game I forgot. I'm so mad at myself. Go on.
Oh, I know
Carry
one
on.
too. I hope you put it on there. Right here, this is the Screaming Antelope. Again, this is by Dr. Tanglebones, the guy that painted these, and the way he paints them, he just really nailed that picture of it.
Wow.
The way they have just this dream and fantasy look to it, and every sculpt that, I'm not as enamored with the game again, but this is, I think, the Cyclops Knight right here. I mean, look at the detail in these. It just, man.
Oh, I love
these
that.
sculpts,
Source lighting from
yes.
down below. Like,
It's the sculpts in these are so well done. I mean, I love even the fire. He comes up through the anvil down there.
his pirate boots.
Yes, there's so much to unpack. I mean, sculpts that you just look at it and they can tell a story.
Yeah.
Those,
Yeah.
you know what? You just get, they're immersive. And these right here, it's filled with them. Unfortunately, I don't like a lot of the sculpts in the game, in Kingdom of Death, but the ones that actually just stick to fantasy and things like that, I do enjoy. So these right here are great. So I really like the sculpts in this game.
That's fantastic.
That's cool. I love that. Great artwork. My goodness.
Yeah. I feel like I could have done a top 10 of like favorite skeletons in games.
Right?
You know what I mean?
I
Like
know,
that was,
yeah.
I love that. Like,
So good. All right, that's my number 5, Kingdom Death Monster.
All right, my number 4, I'm going to go to one of my favorite games. This is Abyss. And Abyss has a lot of great creature design, all of these, ocean dwellers. But I specifically went with the Leviathans in the Leviathan expansion.
okay.
These are, you'll see there in the bottom left-hand card, okay?
that one.
There's that giant sort of manta ray sort of looking thing. Below it is a little figure, which I think might be a hammerhead shark. But that's the size of the figures. That's the size of the people or the characters represented in the game normally. Human-like, about the size of a human. So
the
these
measure.
are Leviathans. They are these enormous creatures that are attacking their world. And you need to, this is an expansion, you need to defend your kingdom from these things.
Okay.
And they are
Wow.
scary, they are, they're varied, they are just incredibly well done and so different from one another, some terrifying. It's great.
Wow.
Great picture there. That was not me who picked that. I guess Chris was having some fun.
That's great.
Chris was having a lot of fun. That's Bruno Catala, the game designer, for those of you that don't know. But I really like the way that the creatures are put together in this one. They're just so neat.
Yeah.
The different vibe, the different looks of it all,
This does look good.
really enjoy it. And they're all, the entire game has really great
The cover.
creature
It is,
design.
yeah.
Yeah.
The cover, everything. It's a cool world. But man, those Leviathans, when that came out, I was like, the scope of these illustrations. I can feel, again, how enormous this creature is meant to be. I can
Right.
feel that. I get, looking at that, the first time I looked at those, I'm like, yeah, I feel like a slight sense of dread
Yeah.
of how big this is meant to be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's kind of amazing if an illustration can give you that sense of awe and make you feel small,
Right.
Yeah.
I really like that. So that's my number 4, the Leviathans from Abyss Leviathan edition expansion.
Very good. Yes,
Good.
that was my short list. So representation. My number 4 comes from Massive Darkness 2, and specifically I like the Reaper and Hades. And what I like is these are both things that we're familiar with, right? I mean, here we have the Reaper, for example. We know the Reaper. I love that they make this Kraken and kind of mix it together with that. It's like another take on something that you're familiar with, and kind of giving it that personality. It just takes it a little bit further. I'm familiar with it. We know the Reaper. It's a common character. That's this person's interpretation of what if it had these sea qualities as well? What would it be like? How would it still like float to you? How would it come? And I love this representation. And then with Hades, I really liked in it the representation, and so that's going to be the one on the right there. I really like the representation of he's lifted up by all the souls. You'll see that a lot of times, and he's on the river of souls, right? Yeah. But he's in a boat trying to cross it. Here, no, it's part of him, right? And he's crossing it, and he's using them, and they are what fuel him. And in this, I don't want to take away from it, like kind of give him purpose and fuel him and his powers and everything. So again, I like that they are these creatures and characters that we're familiar with, but a unique take on it, and just you can see that they just took it a step further, and it kind of feels like a what if version of them.
Yeah,
those are really nice.
And so that, I really like the Massive Darkness too, but specifically these two because they're ones I do have the familiarity with already.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's a good
nice. Pick. Yeah, they look amazing. These miniatures are just insane, and the creativity that they put in these.
Yeah.
It's
also,
insane.
Edward, please stop. They're creatures.
So they're okay. So. This one right here is probably our first crossover. I don't know.
Oh.
So this is a crossover with it's Camilla, and this is Hello Kitty. Oh, it's not. It's not Hello Kitty. It is Final Girl.
Oh.
I love that.
Okay, that's
adorable.
Okay, well played. Okay, so this
I like that a lot.
This is Final Girl, and I did have Geppetto on there, and I think the other one is Poltergeist. I guess Dr. Tango Bones wrote these or painted these. These look incredible, by the way, and I think I knew I wanted to make sure you weren't putting Geppetto on your list because Geppetto is just the minis and the sculpts and the artwork the entire game, but the fact that you can have the minis on there as well are great. And I think this one is the poltergeist. I don't know what they call her in the game, but she's pretty much a poltergeist monster.
What does she call? I can't even think of it right now.
I can't remember what exactly her name is in there. But these are great. And I love all the artwork in the game, but the sculpts themselves bring it all together. It's really, really good. And so anyway, when he said Final Girl, I had to stay quiet because I'm like, you know what? So many of these you
I was
could
like,
pick.
how are you quiet? I'm like, anyway.
I'm like, okay, I gotta wait because all of these sculpts are great. And again, next season I'll be on there doing this Hello Kitty right there behind it. Wow,
that's pretty good. It's still there.
That was very subtle.
That's subtle, man. That's good.
That's a Kickstarter cover. It's very rare, very rare.
Yeah, it's cool that they keep coming up with different killers and versions of these things, and just. We've all seen a lot of these from slasher movies and what have you, but to keep coming up with something that's just slightly off center of what we've seen before, that's very creative. That takes a lot.
Or like Geppetto, it's like you can see he was a human that's gone too far.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, you've crossed kind of thing.
So I like it. Love the mechanics of this and everything. So that was my number 4, Final Girl.
You nailed it.
With Hello Kitty.
All right, my number 3 is going to be from another CMON game. This is Hate. And in Hate, this is the one that I said is kind of like one of your picks.
Yeah.
There's a faction. There's many factions. One of them, the one I picked, they're called what is it? I got to see it. Just give me the picture there. The Sriracha.
Sriracha.
Sriracha, yeah. That's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Sriracha here is a group, is a faction of these people who died. They are these, barbarians who died, and the forest claimed them. And so they are made of brambles, and it's kind of like a dead body surrounded by brambles and branches and what have you. So mechanically, in the game, they can, if one of the opposing fighters is by a tree, they can absorb you. So they kind of come out of the tree and kill you and take you.
And then use you, fuel off of you.
Why
and
not?
Use your
this one, for example, that's one of the leaders there in the faction, and that cover also shows them. They are It's like a giant sort of growth on their back. And then all the brambles coming down from that. They still have their sword from when they were alive, but they're clearly skeletal under that, you know?
Yeah.
So the look of this faction, they're all very cool. Many of them are sort of, you know, awesome metal barbarians, but some of them are a little bit different, and this one's very different. And that vibe, thematically, mechanically, the look of the whole thing is just incredible. I really like what's happening in there, and it kind of, again, reminds me of that one you picked. Which is sort of comes out of the forest.
The Grove Maiden, yeah, Oathsworn.
So this is like a whole faction about that. So
that's amazing. It's like you're the good guy in this one, but like you're parasitical at the same time. You're like, oh, you're the enemy, but I will use you.
So it's pretty cool.
That's
it's
cool.
very
That's cool.
yeah, very metal, as people are saying. So there we go. That is my number 3, Hate.
I have not played this. I want to though.
My number.
What game do you not want to play, Jim?
Which one?
I want to play every game. Hate.
Yeah.
You don't want to play it.
I do want to play it. No, I do.
Oh, I figured so. Yeah.
I figured so.
My number 3, as already called out early in the comments, I wonder where Spirit Island will be on Camilla's list. Number 3, there you go. Number 3, Spirit Island. I love the creature design in this. The creatures are what you play as. You play as the spirits of the island, but I love the way it incorporates so much feeling into it, you know? So my favorite here, these are 3 of my favorites, but I really like Many Minds Move as one, which is the one you see right there with the white and the black one. What I love is in this character that or creature that you're playing as, you are any animal that has like many minds, you know, so ants, for example, but also maybe a flock of birds or a pack of lions, any of them that kind of use body language to do something together.
That is pretty cool. That image kind of makes a face.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to say. I love about that. It's many minds that come together to work as one. And so you see here how they make that face. They are one unity in building and seeing, being, you know, seeing the same thing, smelling, talking, have this one single vision, but all these little individual parts. And so the individuality doesn't matter. It's this one kind of being. I think that's a fantastic way to represent this spirit and this creature here, you know, that you're playing as. It's absolutely phenomenal. You know, then you have Grinning Trickster, which is the one above it. Grinning Trickster Stirs Up Trouble, I believe is the full name. And that it's like, you know, you don't really know. You're just kind of this maybe kind of a tree creature, that thing, you know, but you just look troublesome. It's like you're not really a monkey, but you're not really a tree.
Well, technically, all of these are deities.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
And the way they interact with the physical world happens to be different.
Yes.
So
I gotta say, just now, like a couple seconds ago, saw the face.
Yeah,
you mentioned that.
It took me a little bit.
You mentioned that, and I'm like,
no, it took me a little bit too. I was like, oh, I see what they're doing.
I thought it was a profile. I'm like, okay, I'm looking for the profile, but no, it's a full-on face, and I'm like, that was the magical moment for me.
I do like that they're all kind of, again, they're sort of deities, and they interact with the physical world in different ways to affect the real world. So very, very interesting.
And to show that personality in what we are familiar with. You know, so
I agree.
Yeah, I love it.
That's
I love Spirit Island and the way they take these personalities and bring in a personification.
That's cool,
guys.
Very well done.
All right, so my number 3 is another crossover.
Is it with me this time?
It's a car game. No, it's not a car game. It is a matching game, but it's from Japan.
It's a crossover with your 1 through 4.
It is.
Sorry, 10 through 4.
I love the way they drew the frog in this, by the way. Just the way his eyes kind of come together. Okay, no, my number 3 is Massive Darkness 2. Hellscape.
All right,
Again, like Camilla said, you could pick any mini from this. And I do like the Wraiths and the Banshee. Like right here, just the sculpts on these are so, again, this is Eric's handiwork on the painting.
Do you know Eric?
I don't. I'm selling on BGG. I said, hey, can I use some of yours? Because he paints these games that I love. And he's like, sure.
He said, who are you?
He said, he's like, oh, please use these. No, he didn't say that. He said, I guess whoever you are, go ahead and use them.
Yes, random citizen.
But look, even the lamp on there. This is such a good game. And it just draws you in. So all the sculpts on this, and like you said before, Zee, Simon, all their sculpts, I could have picked so many Simon games for this.
Well, with this game specifically, I thought they went really bombastic.
They did.
I don't know if they were just trying to like distance themselves from Massive Darkness 1 or what it was, but many of them are really not what you can expect from a Zombicide or any of those
Yeah,
games. They
yeah.
were like, let's go spindly. Let's go like, it's like instead of taking a mini and being like, let me sculpt this very well and small and compact and like, brr, they were like, what about if instead we go, and like
Right.
this guy has like spikes coming out way over
Right.
there, and they're to the point that they're a little fragile.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
agree with
that's
that.
how wild they went with the creature design in this game.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's fine. I think it's tremendous. But it's like the other extreme of dense miniature making. You know what I mean? They really went so spindly and intricate and all these things barely connected, you know? It's cool.
This game surprised me so much. I wish it wasn't named Massive Darkness because I did skip it on the Kickstarter just because the first one was fine, not great. But the second one, these minis, the sculpts, the gameplay, everything in this just clicks. So it is, yeah, I love this. So this is my number 3. Really, any of these miniatures in Massive Darkness 2, Hellscape.
Love it. All right, here we go. My number 2 is from Vagrant Song, and this is really any of the Haints, which are the little ghosts.
Yes.
They do a lot of really neat designs. I chose one early on in the game. This is like the second Haint you'll come across, because it's a campaign.
Right.
And I don't want to show you something you're not going to see for a while or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is, the Haints are like the ghosts on this train that you are trying to, you're trying to liberate their souls or what have you. You're trying to, help them pass on. And so this is one of the early ones you're going to see. It's, and in this, I think they
So
call him
good.
like Mr. Skin or something in this one, because he's just kind of like this.
Mr. No
loose-
Bones.
Yeah, he's like this loose skin. And it's creepy
So
and it's
good.
clothing, but he's just like a bag of bones is like a
Yeah.
term. He's like an empty bag.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
like just-
Oh, that's
Yes.
cool.
Skin and clothing, and that's all there is to him, But there's a lot like
So
this.
many.
There are many others, and just a general look in the
There it
the
is.
game.
Yes, I was like, I hope you put your promo in there.
I did not.
Oh,
This was
well,
Chris.
okay. All right,
Hey,
well, fine. But
those
yeah,
are
there
some
you go.
good-looking promos there.
That's a good looking Haint
Where
right
do you
there.
get
So
those?
anyway, Haynes, and if you want, you can get our promo for Vagrant Song. This was not me. This is Chris who put this in here.
All right.
But they do look good.
They do look really good.
That's fun.
That's gonna be.
I like Tom with his suspenders.
Yeah, that's pretty cute. Anyway, there you go. That's a promo for Vagrant Song.
I will tell you,
I do like the design in this game a lot.
That's cool.
I like the, what's he called? The faceless guy that it's always has his back to you, no matter which way you turn it. One of the first ones.
Yes.
I mean, I
Yes,
just like
right.
the idea of that. You just keep flipping around. I don't know. They're really great designs in this game. Yeah.
I
They
agree.
just
I
nailed
agree.
the acrylics on that.
That's really cool.
There we go. That's my number 2.
Very nice. All right, they already said it in the chat earlier. Ooh, I wonder where the others will be on Milla's list. Here it
Okay.
is. It is number 2. So the others. What I really like about the others is the individual sins that are represented. You know, you have your envy and you have your pride and your lust, but I feel like they are a different take on that. I think it's really uniquely done for this game. You know, you think of sloth, for example, and you think just this like, or gluttony, we'll use gluttony here, you know, just gonna be this
Yes.
bulbous creature that can't do anything, or maybe pride. I guess pride's represented right there, so I'll use that one. Pride, you think of what? Like a big,
good.
strong person who, you know, straight back. No, it's this ugly abomination that he's prideful. He's coming out with all his tentacles, and again, he's grabby things, and it's just, they're just nasty. I mean, these 7 sins are the 7 deadly sins. You know, they are bad, and they just kind of take over things and make you bad, you know, for lack of, I guess I keep using the same thing over and over here, but you just see that in it and you feel it. So they're a different take. I mean, lust, you expect this like super sexy creature or something like that. It's not.
Right.
It's disgusting, you know, and you're like, oh, it makes you highly uncomfortable.
Right,
but I
it's
feel like it
monstrous.
should.
They are monstrous,
They are
yes.
monstrous. And I really, really like that. So it's, again, something that you're familiar with, but it's like, oh, you're right. Pride wouldn't look good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, sloth would be gross. You know, lust would turn you into this this disgusting kind of creature figure thing, you know,
Right.
not this ethereal siren or something like
Right.
that. You know, so I really like the interpretation of the sins.
Interpretation, yeah.
Yeah, in order to, as they're depicted here in the others. And that's why it's just, I think it's fantastic representation of what those would be.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
There's a lot of cool beasties in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing what the artist decided to put in there and bring, I love that.
Right.
It wasn't what I thought it would be when I opened the box, and I'm just so enamored with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. It's on my short list. So, okay, all right. My number 2 is yet another Simon, and it is their only Hello Kitty production. Nope, it's not. There.
Oh,
Look at that.
but it
That's
does
all-
feature.
Oh, so cute. All right, this is Zombicide Undead or Alive. Someone else mentioned, I think you mentioned
I
that
talked
the
about the
Abominations.
skeletons a little bit, yeah.
All the abominations. First of all, I love the mechanics of this game, but the abominations on this. There's one called the Melting Pot, which is right here,
Oh, it's gross.
and
that's
it's
so
so
Oh, I love it.
good, and
That's
it's just
so disgusting,
look at those
dude.
men.
their
Trails.
abominations have come so far from Zombicide First Edition, right? Where it's just a
Yeah.
spiky guy. I mean, this one they had another one called no, this was like Death Grasp. But yeah, right here. So it's just all of their abominations are so unique, you know, to put forward, and they have so many good sculpts in this game. I think Undead or Alive, again, I think they're getting better and better as these iterations go forward. But these abominations in this game are just incredible. I really love the sculpts in these. And, you know, they all play very unique as well. You only see like 1 or 2 a game. But I love the sculpts in Zombicide Undead or Alive.
Those are good paints to paint.
Yeah,
things.
he does
Yeah.
a good job. That's why I
Wow.
went down. I'm like, can you
Right.
use them? And I will never paint like that. But
You don't know. You never
Yeah.
tried.
You won't.
But also,
thanks, see?
I also like the growth that it was showing there. You know, you think zombies and it's like decaying and that stuff, which
Yes.
is what they are. But also, I love that it's showing this like transmorph stage as well, where it's like, no, it's also growth and these nasty
Right.
boils coming up. You know,
Ugh.
it's not just rotting, it's like actively taking
Yeah.
over and festering.
And that melting pot one just gets me. There's those souls and stuff coming out. It's like, man, it's so good.
It reminds me of Stranger Things, that monster in Stranger Things.
Yes.
Right? That like monster, that one, you know? Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
gross.
Oh, yeah.
So
So
good.
anyway,
All right.
that was my number 2, Zombicide, Undead or Alive. You never know.
My number 1 is a crossover, as you probably some of you suspected, with Joey.
Me?
No, not with you. You didn't cross over with me. I don't cross over with you.
I might. I still got time.
My number one is The Others.
I knew you were quiet over there.
Yes.
And The Others is a game I love, but part of the reason I love it is the creature design. Now, here's the thing. The picture you showed, wonderful. All the sins, all the big nasties, wonderful creature design. But the cool thing about this game, and the one reason it's number 1, is that when I'm playing the people, the normal side, they're still amazing sort of creatures.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
There's some that are people that are not crazy, like a dude with a gun, and he is, because this is kind of like futuristic. It doesn't scream futuristic, but it is. So it might just be like a dude with a gun or whatever, but it might also be someone who transforms into that werewolf thing with a giant sword.
I love
or
that
like a gorilla that is enhanced and is a powerhouse. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But
and they
also-
have him on the team of the good guys.
Right.
The good guys are
so
kind of
good.
equally monstrous in many ways. You
Right.
know what I mean?
But also equally clearly a gorilla. It's not
clearly-
a human body with a
Right.
gorilla head.
No, it is
You
a
know?
gorilla
I
that
love
is enhanced
Right.
and has become now this,
Yes.
Sentient.
again, and this advanced creation that they modified to help them fight the sins, the evil powers that be. So I like all of it, is what I'm saying.
Yep, I agree.
Even the lowly, like, acolytes or whatever, there's these, you pick acolytes to put in, I think that's what they're called. And they're just like, corrupted policemen or corrupted, what else is there? They got, whatever, nuns. One of them is corrupted nuns and priests or whatever. They're still really interesting designs. It's
They are.
people, but there's like, they're being taken from the inside out, sort of over by these tentacles.
Yeah.
They're just clever. There's like corrupted musicians, and you see like the guy's holding a trumpet, but there's like a tentacle wrapped around the trumpet or whatever. Really interesting stuff. So yeah, I really like it. Wall to wall, the creature design in this game is, for me, superb. My favorite. Love going there. Love, again, it's like visiting a TV show world I like, or reading a good book. Going into this world, I'm like, yeah, I love these creatures. I love this stuff, the designs.
Yeah.
So.
And I like what you said about how it's from both sides. It's you
Yeah.
know, you expect the monsters from the sin side, you know, that I was talking about.
Right.
It incorporates the others as well. That's neat. I hadn't thought of it from that point of view. My number one is you were talking about the rise of Moloch, and I was talking about the steampunk and how I really like that. My number one is Archaeus, and I'll talk about the specific ones here in a minute. But what I love, again, is this crossover. Egyptians, I'm good with. You know, I'm fine with that theme. It's not one that I tend to love. But you give me some supernatural in it, or some of this, like, again, whether it's steampunk or some kind of mix, and I'm all in it. I absolutely love it. One of my favorites. Kind of similar how you'll talk about like the Old West, like supernatural, Wild West kind of stuff. That's what this is for me. If you give me Egyptian and you put it in, it's straight to the top. I love it. Specifically in this one, I have a couple minis here to show with their artwork. I pulled this off of the Kickstarter page, but you can see, I mean, this Sphinx that we're all familiar with, right? But like has razor sharp metal wings here, you know, or the steam golem. It's a golem, but again, you can see that it has this cage involved. It's like it took this creature and added this, whether it's steampunk or these metal parts, upgraded, kind of futuristic, and it just is so creepy. And again, that right on that line of I'm uncomfortable, this would absolutely terrify me. Yes, a big animal, but give it this supernatural metal metallic qualities, and you can hear it. You know, I can hear that Sphinx coming, you know, and just creaking and things like that. And it's just, or that steam golem, you can hear him just crunching down, you know, coming and with his big heavy footsteps, but also the metal so heavy and so strong, the metal's barely supporting it, but also enhancing it. I just absolutely love this mix. It's very, very well done throughout the entire thing. And I really enjoy it. It's one that brought me back to the game over and over and over again, just to look at and understand how these creatures got to where they are.
Yeah.
What happened in this world that this is not the Sphinx I'm familiar with.
Sure, right.
You know, it took this creature and made it like creaturized the creature, you know, if that makes sense. And I absolutely love it. I really, really enjoy the design of this and that kind of meld of those two things.
That's a good
those
cover
are
too.
Sweet. Both of those minis are, in just designs and ideas, are sweet.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I like the merger. I like the merger of those two. All right. So my number one is my favorite Hello Kitty game.
You're like,
It is.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it is Elsworn. Don't want to spoil things, but yeah, that's the final boss right there. You see it right there.
spoilers.
So this is now Elsworn is has a lot of good minis, but now I don't want to spoil things, so I went ahead and I drew the mini for everyone. Here's what the mini is. I'm not going to show you a picture of it. So I did draw it. So it's really good sculpt. You can see that. I think I covered all the bases in this. So no spoilers here, folks. I drew. Are you proud of my artistic skills?
I
have feelings towards this. I have feelings right
You're
now.
right. All right, fine. If you guys want to shield your eyes, I'll show you the real mini, although you probably have already seen it. Right?
Oh, wow.
Right? Right?
That's a person up there, which I figured
Go back.
in the drawing.
Go back. I showed you.
Oh,
Oh, back.
I know,
See, I showed the person.
I saw it in the drawing. I saw it in the drawing, and I'm like, okay, is it a little doll? No, it's a human person up there.
You feel
that
like
is
you're
terrifying. I love it.
feel like
That
you're
is fantastic.
feel like you're seeing it again for a second time, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, thank you. This is very good artwork. But again, the designs in this are great. This was actually painted by Jacob, a guy that painted all my Elsworn
He's the
stuff.
same one that painted the picture I
Yeah,
showed.
he painted. So he painted these, and again, something I couldn't do. I could draw that perfectly, as I've shown right now.
We know that.
Right, but thanks,
Oh my God,
Roy.
just in case.
What's going?
Here it
Just
is.
in case you
I like
forgot.
the angry face on the guy.
He's
at the
not
bottom.
happy.
I like
He's
the
not-
boneless arm. It's like
he's-
straight out of Vagrant song.
He's he's not happy, Z. It's like you're.
It's
like,
a haint.
It's like it's a mirror, to be honest, right?
It's
like,
really good.
Thank you. So it's beautiful. But anyway, that's also what I mean. All of these are just the minis in here are just simply incredible.
Right.
So again, yeah, this is another
Oh my
worm.
gosh.
Yeah, I mean, and
Is that
then,
from Oathsworn too?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I like that one. It kind of reminds you of Dune, like the sandworm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what if it was in the woods?
That's what I know.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It looks so good. I can't wait to. We have not fought that one yet, but I'm really excited to see the mechanics on be able to move from different hexes on that, and like you
Yeah.
said, it is what he wanted trimmers or that type of thing to be.
right.
Dune.
Very cool.
So
Very
that's
cool.
my number one is Oathsworn.
All right, folks,
So,
and
there you
that's
go.
going to do it for us on our top 10 list for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments below some of your favorite creature designs, some of your favorite styles from games, and something that just speaks to you in maybe one of your favorite games. But for now, we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Zee Garcia.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
I'm Joey Evans
Watch out for Joey's drawings. They'll get you every time.
Keep you up at night.
on the fridge.